Hey everybody, it's September 12th, and this is Dan Boul and Peter Stroud and Lars Haugen coming at you from North Hollywood, California. We've been here playing guitar, we forgot to record. Anyway, so I'm really honored today to have these two guys in my office. It's great for two reasons, one of which is I don't have to play guitar now, and two, I get to listen to two of my favorite guitar players in the same room. The only thing I don't have is two rigs set up where we can jam. So you guys all know Peter Stroud. He's my business partner, my brother, best man at my wedding. He's Uncle Peter to my kids.
What's
And
happening?
and
I'm very proud of that.
yeah, absolutely. And then this is Lars Haugen, who came all the way over from Norway because he's mixing the new Hellbillies record here with David Bianco, right? These guys both play 65 amps, and I'm, of course, always very flattered and honored that they do so. And so we're having fun. They just both happen to be in town today. So we're going to sit around and play some guitar with our prototype, and you can hear me sort of explain it. Peter hasn't spent much time with this amp yet. Lars just saw it for the first time. Unfortunately, they're listening through headphones. So we're going to do our best. But anyway, so jump in. We got a lot of people on here, it looks like. So if you want to jump in and have some questions for these guys, they both play guitar like God. So you're going to have a lot of fun. I think you're going to have a really good time today. I always do. And so away we go. Also, I just wanted to say, if you don't have this yet, buy it. This is Lars' solo record. Lars Haugen and the Truth. There's not one spoken word on the record, but you're never bored for a second. He takes you by the hand and takes you on this great musical journey that's really nice. And then so, Peter, you're in town. Can we talk about what you're in town for? Peter Stroud is in town playing with, wait for it, Richie Sambora on his solo tour. So in between dates with Sheryl Crow, Peter is now a cowboy on a steel horse he rides.
Well, for a couple of weeks, I'm actually filling in for our good pal David Ryan Harris.
For our buddy David, who you guys have seen on the show here a few times.
So yeah, it's great. Get the pleasure to play with Richie for 2 weeks.
And you're going to use a Ventura on that gig, right?
Actually, I used a Ventura here, but we're renting our back line.
Oh, you're using
so I'm using a little Elvis.
Using the Londons and the
for the acoustic stuff. I'll use a little Elvis.
Wow.
And which for me, acoustic's still playing slide. I'm playing the Duesenberg pretty much the entire time.
Yeah.
And then when we do the full band stuff, I'll use the Londons.
Oh, cool. Right on.
What we have there. Yeah.
That's very nice. So a lot of you guys don't know. I mean, Richie is known for being, John Bon Jovi's right-hand man, which I actually, to tell a family secret, kind of dig Richie more than John. I like the way he sings and I like the way he plays, but outside of Bon Jovi, Richie's more of a blue-eyed soul guy than he is this metal 80s guy. He likes to play big rock and roll songs, but when he plays his own thing, it's really bluesy and soulful, and he's a
different great player.
Yeah, he's still just a really nice guy, super player. And so he's got a solo record coming out that
great singer too.
Our other business partner Phil Cassins co-wrote half the songs on the record.
Yeah.
And is managing the tour, I guess. Or
he's pretty much, I think, overseeing Richie on his solo adventure.
Richie Incorporated.
Solo adventure.
Is being run by Phil Cassins.
Cool.
So it's a 65 joint.
So is Richie playing 65 as well?
He's got a couple, but
he has them.
He's such a Marshall guy.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He's got, actually, we have his amp here. His one with the two EL34s. He kind of uses it just to record, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Out on tour.
He's a Marshall guy.
Yeah.
Well, he's kind of like, McCartney has to play the Beatle bass.
Mm.
Yeah. Because if McCartney came out playing a P bass, we'd all be like, come on. Richie's got to play Marshalls.
Yeah.
That's his thing.
And it's the sound.
And he doesn't really even record with them.
All due respect.
Yeah, that's his thing. So, anyway, did somebody say joint? Oh, look. So they can play Sleepwalk. That's Arna. Arna says, can they play Sleepwalk together?
Hello, Arna.
We have Norwegians. Lots of Norwegians on here, actually. Knut Berge. is somewhere in Norway. And let me see if I can get the full list here. There's usually 4 or 5 Norwegians that are on
don't
here.
mean to discourage Sleepwalk at all. I love Sleepwalk.
Norwegian slow motion. Arne Haast.
I love your version.
Oh yeah?
You did Sleepwalk, didn't you?
No.
Oh, I thought I heard you playing that
No,
on.
I don't think so.
Not bad. For some reason, I thought you had done that.
Well, now we're going to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's Ustream limits how many people can log in at once. Like the first 30 kind of always get it.
Okay.
There's 2 or 3 other guys I used to see on here that are always from Norway. But anyway, we're being represented. Hello from Norway, Zeph2.
Mm-hmm.
Hey from Lillehammer. You came all the way over here to interact with Norwegians, didn't you?
Fantastic.
I'm gonna go get you some bacalao, and
Yeah,
I'll get you some Norwegian food, and it's like you never left.
So should we give him a quick little rundown on this thing?
Yes. All right. So let's start from scratch. We got the switching to work this week, which is good.
Cool.
So it's a pair of 6L6s. We're open to taking requests for names if anyone has an idea of. I almost got this where we can all fit in here. Hang on a second. So if anyone has any idea for names, we're wide open. It's a pair of 6L6s. We're doing it with the high current, low voltage thing that we did on the Producer, which gives us a couple of benefits. One of which is the tubes are going to last for years and years and years. Tubes love current and hate voltage. So instead of building amps like everyone does with high voltage and low current, we went the opposite. And if you guys know Ohm's law, if you cut voltage, you have to raise current in order to get the same behavior out of the tube. So we've seen a lot of people take EL34s and 6L6s and just run them at low voltage, but what they didn't do was change the current. So they don't really react the same. You don't get that beautiful quality out of each tube. So we had the guys at Mercury Magnetics help us come up with transformers, because you can't buy these transformers off the shelf. So the power transformer on here has about 25% more current than a 100-watt Marshall does. Only it's a pair of 6L6s running at 290 volts instead of 450 to 500 where most people run those. So what the result is, the tube is just bathing in rich electricity, and it's not stressed at all. I mean, you can feel the amp's not hot. You know, you can touch these tubes. You can't grab them, but you can touch them without getting burnt. And the transformers are just fine. You can just put your hands on them. Now, you both know that if you put your hand on the power transformer of a 100-watt Marshall that's been on for 10 minutes, you're going to get a second-degree burn.
Now, does it make for a heftier size transformer because of the current?
Yeah, it's a lot bigger.
Sort of like the same thing as, when you have the high current power adapters for pedals. They're always larger.
That's exactly right. Well, the main reason a lot of guys go for high voltage, and initially in the 60s when it was a race to the top of volume, they just add more voltage to the amp and it gets louder. It's also cheaper to add voltage on a power transformer than it is to add current. So because of that, because
of less windings, you're saying.
You need bigger
less construction
stack.
and bigger and weight and whole 9 yards.
The stack on this power transformer is bigger than the transformer on a 100-watt Marshall.
Yeah.
I mean, the stack's about that big. And so that costs money. So people have avoided it naturally. But so we just kind of went for it. It does cost a lot of money to do it, but the tube behavior is ridiculous. And the tube life is, I wouldn't say infinite, but it's definitely
a lot better.
It's going to last for years. Instead of, you guys both know, I mean, you pretty much have to retube your amps after every tour, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're happy to get 100, 150 hours out of tubes.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're looking at probably 1,000.
Yeah. It always seems to follow about a 6-month rule, actually.
Yeah. That's 100 hours of shows, 150 hours of shows, and then you guys travel a lot too. And I know in particular, Lars, your amps go through some serious weather.
Yeah, they do.
You have to go from extreme cold and extreme moisture into a Norwegian nightclub that has a wood fire burning right next to the stage where the humidity is 0%.
Yeah.
And I've been there. I've been to your gigs even in the summer when it's cold and wet, and then the sun comes out for a minute and it's hot and dry.
Yeah, it's pretty extreme, So,
yeah. So all of this adds to longer tube life. But the other thing is, as you both know, but you guys have heard me rant about all the time. I will shut up. Don't worry. Tubes are getting worse and worse every year. So realistically, right now, like you can't run a modern tube in a 6900 watt Marshall. The tubes are going to last maybe 30, 40 hours at best. Because the B plus is 515, 520. And so I kind of thought, well, at some point you're going to have to design amps around these tubes. So we already kind of quit copying circuits. So this way, I mean, the tubes that are in here right now, I've been trying to use the cheapest tubes I could find. Just figure if it sounds good with those, it'll sound good with anything. Yeah. Those are the cheapest Chinese 6L6s I could find, and they sound great. Cool. Now, I mean, if I put in some really nice black plate RCAs or something, it does sound better. But these sound good. So any guy who's on the road can go into any music store and buy any pair of tubes and stick them in there because it is cathode biased.
And now that's pretty much becoming the case with our other amps too. Yeah. The Producer is designed with the same mindset. The Ventura.
Yeah, Ventura.
Pretty much all of them now, because of one thing that we've added, which is the master voltage control, which knocks down the voltage in the amp. It keeps everything else intact.
But it does raise the current when you lower the voltage.
And it raises the current.
So, like versus power scaling where it just drops voltage. Yeah. The current goes down too, which is the exact opposite of what should be happening. Yeah. To get good tube behavior.
So because of that, the tubes in the amps that I have with the master voltage, which is pretty much all of them now, last way longer.
Yeah, you've been on the road with master voltage amps now for 3 years.
Yeah, ever since we started using them, I have them in.
That's the big thing I noticed too with all of our road guys now that they're out with the master voltage. They always call in, and I always go, "Oh, here it is. We got to do tubes. We got to overnight tubes somewhere because that's what goes wrong with amps." And no, man, everything's great. Like, how's your amp sound? Sounds the same. Like, really? You've been out for 6 months? Like, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, I'll usually keep my amps about 3/4 now with the master voltage for that reason, just knowing that it's extending the tube life. Exact same sound. I have to watch my volume anyway on stage. So.
That's true. Yeah, your boss doesn't let you crank on stage.
Well, it's really with us. It's all about, and it's who you play with. Other bands you can crank it up more, but with her, it's not really as much about her as it is about playing against the drummer.
Just the balance
on the drummer. It's all about finding the right balance. Yeah. And we keep Audley Freed's in the band now with Cheryl, and we keep both of our amps sort of pointing almost 45 off. For both. Cheryl's benefit and also for the sound man's benefit.
Sure. You're not hitting the vocal mics as much.
Right. We're not hitting the vocal mics, and which obviously is a pain, and so it allows us to still get our sound, but not be ripping. But still, we're setting our volumes based on the drummer as much as we are around.
No. Do you guys use in-ear monitoring?
Yes. Yeah. And that's the other issue too. You can't be cranking amps with in-ears.
Yeah,
so
now you guys
should probably play that.
Yeah, let's play some guitar. Just real quick though, but you guys play pretty loud on stage, don't you, Lars? You and Oslog?
I don't know. I'm trying to keep it down. But,
I know you've reduced your volume.
Yeah, at some point I was using the Royal Albert and the Marquis together.
Yeah, that's a loud rig.
That's probably the best guitar sound I've ever had. Fantastic. Way too loud.
But everyone in the front row was,
of course,
was getting killed.
I haven't been able to use my Marquis in the past year and a half. I love my Marquis.
Yeah.
But I just need to put the master voltage in.
I think it's time to redo the Marquis.
That's a great amp.
And do it high current, low voltage like this.
Yeah.
Because that was the only problem with that amp is it's too loud and aggressive for most guys to use.
It is.
And but when you do like this, it should really improve the clean sound also when you flood it with current like this.
Yeah.
The tubes seem to really shine on the clean stuff. All right. Hey, Steve Kirk, what's going on? We got a good crowd here. This is good. So we're going to let these guys play some guitar because it's a hell of a lot more interesting than me jawing all the time. But I just wanted to give you a rundown of this amp, and I'm up for names. If you guys have ideas for names, put them in here. That's how we named the Ventura.
Is it?
Yeah, David Ryan Harris was here, and he was playing it, and we were talking about names, and people just started flooding the screen with names, and the Ventura came across, and we both just went, Ventura.
Cool.
That's good. I like it.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. So tell me what you want. I'll be your switch,
So
man.
are we on the clean now?
You're on clean. We got a little bit of compression going. You want to listen to it?
All right, so I'll do it without the compressor.
Lars, have you ever heard of the Douglas group?
Yeah.
This guy's saying he has a friend in Norway, Adam Douglas Enevoldsen.
Yeah, I don't know. I know he's. I think he just released an album.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
All right, what's next?
So now what you have is let's
Here
see.
you go. You do this one. You have the honors on here.
Yeah. This is sort of a hot American sound, so it's sort of like a boosted, super. And the volume's on 4, and you can actually crank this volume and get a really nice American dirt sound.
Beautiful. What's next?
From there we go up to crunch rhythm sound. This is more European sound, like a British sort of thing going on.
Pronounced mid-range, would you say?
Yeah, well, basically we don't have a tone stack. It's just a tone knob. So the mid-range is somewhat unregulated. So it gets very more in the Marshall vein. It doesn't really sound like a Marshall with these tubes running this way. It's just good crunch rhythm sound. And then what's cool about this high current thing is you can really gain these tubes up and they don't get messy. So like you get into seriously singing long-term, almost metal type levels of gain, but it's not messy at all.
Sounds great.
And then a little bit of compression for Lars Haugen. I know he loves it.
Which, by the way, we're running through Strymon's pedals, as you probably noticed.
Yeah, this is a Strymon Obi-Wan compressor.
Is this yours?
No.
That's mine. It's really kind of easy under fingers.
Yeah,
isn't it?
it is.
You don't have to work it too hard to get some sustain.
Yes.
But if you listen, Peter, you might want to listen too. The amount of gain that he's running on here is way higher than you've been able to get out of normal. That's silly amounts of gain. We've never done anything like that. I've always shied away from that much gain because I don't like the way it sounds tonally. Usually it gets so messy and sort of abrasive.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to listen through the phones for a second, it's just not messy.
Yeah.
And it's not, there's nothing obnoxious about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So, you know, one more pedal off the board.
Yeah. Yeah,
and then we're running dry, so if you want some echo or reverb, feel free to do whatever you want here.
So how clean can we get this?
And again, you're going to get a lot of crunch out of this. After the show, Lars, we'll go play it out in the shop and get a better idea. We just turned the master voltage down to 5 here, so you got about a 12 watt.
Nice.
And then also, actually, you know, the little booster thing is on there, so we can actually make it colder and cleaner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. No, it's 28. Yeah. Just under 30, probably. You know, when it's all the way out. Oh, it's, yeah, right here. You're about 20 watts. Yeah. Somewhere. And this one holds the voltage really well, like when you go down to... It doesn't change much.
Yeah.
It changes less than the producer does. But I mean, still, this is so darn quiet. You know, that's like if you're doing a radio station gig or something. You know. Hey, Thomas Abraham. We do have an effects loop on this. Yeah, that's right. And I haven't tried the new Flint. I ordered one. It's on back order. Yeah, there's a loop. This might not be on this because it's prototype. We'll have it. It's just like the producer. You guys want to try a humbucker?
Yeah.
It reacts totally different.
Yeah. Let's do it.
So there's my Les Paul, and then we want to see Peter's new guitar also. And then I have Peter's old guitar over here.
Speaking of Les Pauls,
yeah, I still need to get Ron Ellis's number from you.
Oh yeah, that's a whole other great topic. But, yesterday, Richie brought his 59, real 59.
He brought that over here once. That thing's sick, isn't it?
Yeah, and he's using it.
Yeah.
And hats off to the man
when
for
he
that.
when he came over here in his convertible Aston Martin.
Yeah.
With his 59 Les Paul strapped into the passenger seat.
I walked into rehearsal yesterday, and the first thing he goes, "Hey Peter, check this thing out." And he takes it out and he drops it into my hand.
Yeah.
It's like plop.
That's exactly what he did to me.
And he goes, "Here, check out my 59." I thought he was meaning like
a reissue.
Yeah, a reissue. He says, "Yeah, man, it's a real one." I went,
"Oh." Yeah. He's really cool like that. He did that to me too, like sort of just tossed it to me. And I was like, I was just sort of like, shit, I don't know if I should be playing this guitar or not. But when I met him, he had Hendrix's V. And it was the same thing. And I knew he'd bought it. I'd read that he'd bought the guitar. And I walked in the studio and he's playing it. And I went, "Is that?" And before I could finish the sentence, he goes, "Yeah, here." And I just played it for like a half hour. And he's like, "Yeah, here. Go ahead."
All right, so we're on the clean now?
Yeah. Here, do a little dolly. You know what's really fun on this too? My favorite thing on the clean side of this is if you do neck pickup Les Paul and you get that 60s BB King sound.
that song?
Yeah, Pusher Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Retro Rebel.
That sounds great. All right. Love that.
Cool.
Down Brownie. Yeah, it sounds great.
That's cool. Yeah, do like neck pickup. This is the boosted American side. Like really good single string, sort of old school blues bass. So I'm just screwing with you.
Yeah, it feels great the whole time. Does it feel?
It doesn't really change feel when you go from side to side.
Yeah, man, it feels great.
It's fun. Try it out, Lars. See what you think. XL72. Feel free to do whatever you want here on the pedal board. Hey, Scott.
That sounds great. Yeah.
Yeah, we should have had 2 amps.
Yeah, next time we'll have to do that.
Sounds great.
Yeah, it sounds
What do you
awesome.
think? Would you like a different
Much
tone?
less. You sound awesome.
Yeah, Lars is so much fun to watch play. The thing thing that so makes it fun about both you guys, just coming from a third person, is that you both play ridiculously well and you don't realize it. Like you're both astonishingly humble. And I know guys that don't play half as good as you do that are cocky and jerks about it. And like both of you guys are turning pink now because I gave you a compliment. You're both exemplary, I think is the word to use. I'm very honored to be sitting here with you. Yeah, you're right, David Hayes. Lars has got some hands, doesn't he? It's very fun. So, Lars, I heard a rumor that on this new record there's some tracks in English.
Yeah, actually, all the songs have both Norwegian and English lyrics.
Oh, you're kidding?
Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
So
you're gonna have double tracks?
Yeah, we're releasing this double vinyl with which side A and B is in Norwegian, and C and D will be in English. So
that's awesome. Because
So,
what you guys don't know, like the Hellbillies are gigantic in Norway, and my favorite memory the last time that I was there is we're driving out to Velvet.
Yeah, that's right.
We're driving out to Velvet, and we're on the freeway, and it's kind of a traffic jam.
What is Velvet?
It's their recording studio.
Okay.
Oh, outside, and we're driving out to Velvet. Oslog's driving, which is Lars' older brother, who's the lead singer in the band. And we hear this, meet, and, you know, I'm not really paying attention. And there's this lady with her kids and her family, and she's in the car going like this.
Yeah, that's right. I remember.
And these guys are. It was raining, and we're on the freeway. It's like, Jesus, lady, you know, like, pay attention, watch the road. And so we all needed a pit stop, and we needed a coffee. And so these guys were nice enough. We pulled over into a Shell station on the freeway. Mm-hmm. They pulled in behind us. Lars and Oslog autographed their the Hellbillies CD and talked to their kids. Oh, hi, Skippy. You know, nice to meet you. And we went on the way.
Sure.
So what you guys are going to hear in English is how well these guys sing together. I mean, if you, the links I put up of their videos in Norwegian, you can get an idea. But, you know, when you have brothers singing together, it's really, really special. When you have two brothers singing together that are both excellent singers, it goes through the roof. You know, it's sort of like the Everly Brothers vibe. You know, when they sang together, it was just, their sum was greater than their parts. And when you and Oslog sing together, it just sounds, because I've seen a few of your shows in Norway, and even though I have no clue what you're singing about, when you guys sing together, it's just amazing. I mean, it's just beautiful. So I'm excited to hear it in English now. But if you look on YouTube, these guys used to do a lot of stuff in English, and you started out doing English, you know, American covers.
Done a lot of English stuff.
Yeah.
So.
And so they sing in perfect English. There's no accent, no anything at all. And I think I saw one of you guys doing a Dwight Yoakam tune or something 20 years ago.
Yeah, something like that. 20,
and you were very
ago.
young.
Yeah, I was.
You were very young. And and Oslog was also much younger. But yeah, it's fantastic. So when we get this out, we'll share it with everybody here. And I'm assuming you're going to sell it in the U.S. too, right?
I don't know, but I mean, I hope so.
It'd be silly not to. Then we can all we'll start a Kickstarter fund and get you guys over here for a tour.
Sounds good to me.
Maybe you could warm up for Sheryl Crow or something. I don't know. We'll have to. Their band is fantastic, though. You got to see them play sometime. It's really fun.
You want to plug this in?
Yeah, sure.
So I'll just unplug
Show this thing.
So tell us about this guitar, Peter.
Well, this I'm very honored and proud to, I guess, introduce for the first time on this show, but it just came out at NAMM, is my signature guitar with Duesenberg that has their multi-bender, which they graciously designed around the Bigsby palm pedal was sort of the impetus for it, and
it looks
making
like
a drastic improvement.
I was gonna say it looks like
function.
Really modern German engineering there.
Yeah, it works beautifully. The response is immediate, much more immediate, because there's no string length that you have to deal with. Whereas with the Bigsby style, you had a lot of string length to get to the
a lot of places for the string to catch. Yeah.
But the main thing is just the guitar. It's based on a guitar that Duesenberg already has called the Dragster, which this is a Dragster essentially, except the Dragster On their product line is a single pickup with a P90 style pickup, I'm pretty sure, and it's a monster guitar. And a lot of it is, just sometimes the simpler the better. It's just a block of wood with a neck that's straight, it's not much pitch to it, and so I just looked at it and said, man, that would be great to.
Have you seen my whiteboard?
What is it? Exactly. Yeah. Dead on. And so
Yeah.
I just looked at it and said, man, it would be awesome to drop a multi-bender on this thing and 2 pickups. And then, so they asked which pickups, and I just suggested a humbucker in the rear. Definitely prefer that sound for the humbucker tone for doing the pedal steel,
Yeah.
faux pedal steel kind of crap. And then thought it might be cool to have this, which is sort of their Filtertron kind of knockoff.
Right. It looks great. I mean, in person, the build quality looks.
And I got to
fantastic.
tell you, I mean, they take it another 5 miles beyond that in their design. This is the prototype one. This is the very first one they made for me. I wish I had the actual production one that they've come out with, because they also included with it, their wiring is really unique. Duesenberg's really good with it.
Yeah, don't they do some phasing in the
Internal
middle
wiring.
position?
Yeah, they figured out. They spent a lot of time coming up with cool sounds with these things, and the in-between sound is beautiful. It's different. It's not typical. It is some sort of, I guess, I can.
But they throw like one coil out of phase. Like the
Right,
pickups aren't out of
exactly.
phase with each other, but they take one coil of one humbucker and put it out of phase with the other pickups.
Oh.
Yeah,
And it
so
makes this really 3D kind of sound.
really
It's
makes
really
a beautiful sound. And then with on the production model one that we have at the Signature, it has just a little simple tone knob that's a short throw.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it goes maybe about a quarter of a turn.
Mm-hmm.
And so it allows for you to get that sort of wah, 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 wah kind of sound right there at your fingertip,
Yeah.
which is fun too. It's a lot of handy. This one doesn't have it. This one is a regular tone control. But, so we're on the clean now, right? Or semi-clean.
You know what? It's kind of just heated up. I think.
So as far as the slide tone in general, and I have this tuned to open E. So see the rear pickup. And then the front pickup. A little more glassiness to it.
Yeah.
And then the middle and these for this one.
Yeah, you
Hear
get a
that
nice,
sound?
you get a nice notch in there.
Which is a really cool sound. And then, so now with the pedals, like,
That's got Lars Haugen all over it.
yeah.
I can see him.
Yeah.
Because Lars plays pedal steel on the show.
Yeah, and this was when I first got the Bixby Palm pedal ages ago, I just saw it in a guitar shop one time. And I just thought, oh, that could be sort of fun. And I think that sat around my house for about 8 years before I even put it on a guitar.
You put it on the Fender Ferrari, didn't you?
Yeah, what I call the Fender Ferrari. It was an old G&L that I had. It was a G&L F100 that had been in a fire.
It was in a store fire. I remember that guitar when you got it.
And it was, this guitar is, I still love the guitar. It's a great guitar. But it was I think it was a 78 or 79 somewhere in there, and this music store south of my hometown in Greensboro, North Carolina, had burnt almost to the ground. It was still a standing structure, but they had all their guitar, and so one day they were doing a sale of anything they could sort of get rid of. And so there's this G&L guitar sitting on a stand that you could tell from the heat damage as it got higher up to the guitar, it turned to charred black.
Yeah, the whole guitar was singed.
And it looked like something out of a Salvador Dali thing, because the pickups were dripping out. They were black plastic, so they were literally drooping out of the holes. The tuning keys were hanging off.
Wow.
And the finish, because G&L used a super, super thick finish, was these big blister bubbles all over it. It was the hideous, most looking thing you've ever seen in your life.
What'd you pay for it?
Maple Neck, $25. It was nothing, So then I gave it to a friend of mine who refinished it red for me, the entire thing, neck and all. Just totally stripped it down. All I had to do, I had 2 humbucking pickups, pulled them out, I put in these old DiMarzio PAFs, nailed them in with a couple of finishing nails, and it was a total hack guitar. But that thing, and I attribute to nailing the pickups in too, man, where it was right on the wood.
There you go. You heard it right here. There's the secret to tone. Nail your pickups in.
Ball of fire. That guitar ripped. And the whammy, it had that original G&L F100 whammy on it, which worked great. You could totally dive bomb. That was before the Floyd Rose, And so anyway, that guitar I eventually changed over to put the Bigsby palm pedal on, and that was how it all started. But
what Peter's not telling you is, like, I kind of met him right after this whole surgery happened, and I watched him sit down and go,
yeah,
and then go, oh, okay, I got it, and start playing songs with it.
Yeah.
And where I just went. But I mean, he does this beautiful chording and things on it. He just immediately got it. I'm bad enough with one bender, let alone 2.
that was the very first thing I recorded,
good,
which was with Pete Droge for Find a Door. It was the song Find a Door.
That's right, I remember that.
And that was one of the first times I'd used the bender on it.
But you use it in Cheryl's show all the time.
Yeah.
What is it? You're strong enough to be my man or whatever?
Yeah, you've got the echo on.
Yeah.
I use it. So, well, I gotta put the slide on this one to do that. In the B part. Let's turn it down a little, clean it up a little bit. But it goes so you can catch all these voices. So I've got the minor. You just do 3-note chords, pretty much. So there's your minor implied, and then and then you can do a half bend.
Yeah.
So it's so this is set up with on the second string, bends up a whole step. This is the way I have this since it's an open E, and so you can bend it up a whole step there, and then for the third string I have it a half step.
So you can adjust those benders to be whole step, half step?
Yep, you can adjust them to be whole step, half step, and wow. So there's other guys, like some of the Nashville guys, Pat Buchanan, and who's our other pal there?
Jed.
Shit, I blanked on his name.
The other
super ridiculous killer player in Nashville.
Tom
Bukovac.
Yeah.
He has one, and both of those guys play in standard tuning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And use the pedals, and I've been working at that too. I've got my own set up that way. So yeah, I'm gonna mess with it now. But you can retune it. I'll mess with this a little more first. You can retune it to be open and do all your licks, and it's really great. I'll show you in a minute where you can do both bends with whole steps.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So, but I've mainly leaned on it for faking pedal steel. And then, but having that, you know, to be able to do both, you know, we can play more blues style, you know. You can crank
a little hotter?
Yeah, a little hotter. Yeah. Your sus chord. Yeah.
Wow, that sounds so good in here. I wish you guys. I'll get a headphone rig next
time. But this guitar is just a monster. It's the first one.
I played that one at NAMM, I think.
I've tried putting the Bigsby palm pedal on a handful of different guitars, and the G&L was always the one. This is the first one that has beat out my original one.
Yeah.
As far as tone.
Didn't they make you a white one too?
Yeah. So it's available in both. At this point, it's available in both red and white.
It looks great. Of course, I don't know how well it comes across on camera.
And it's made out of alder, I believe, with a mahogany neck.
It's made out of puppies and rabbits.
So then. Go ahead and crank it up.
You want some raw?
Yeah, because see, this is really. Just having that as opposed to doing bends, yeah. Sounds fun.
Very cool.
That sounds really nice.
So.
Danny like.
Cool.
Too bad you can't take that one home with you. I guess we'll just have to store it here. Darn it.
Well, and I'm using it playing with Richie now about 80% of the time. So
that's cool.
It's great. So much for the acoustic gig.
Yeah. Well,
brought my old Gibson J50 and I'm playing this thing.
I've seen Peter go through like 4 bands, and there's always this amazing transition. Pete Droge. Yeah, it's kind of like acoustic, kind of semi-country rock kind of stuff. Peter's in the band 1 year, boom, rock and roll on.
Yeah.
Sheryl Crow shows with Jeff Trott playing guitar. It's kind of guitar oriented, but it was really about her keyboards and her vocals.
Hey Jeff, you may be watching. I just talked to Jeff.
We love you, Jeff. I'm not saying this is a bad thing or not. If Peter's in the band, all of a sudden it's. What was the other band? Dream So Real, same thing. Kind of an eclectic sort of pop college band. Peter gets in it.
Yeah.
It's really good. They start realizing the joy of it.
So.
But
yeah, man, there you have it. I'm really, really proud of this thing.
Yeah, that's fun. That's really cool. Thanks for bringing it by.
Yeah, man.
It's very nice. Very nice. I have you all juiced up here. We got a little bit of verb and a little bit of echo and.
Cool. Well, that's the way I like it. That's how I use it.
Is that your signature as well?
Yes.
The other guitar?
We have the other Peter Stroud guitar.
Yeah.
That's yours also?
I guess I'm what you call a gear whore.
We prefer the more modern Latin term.
Slut.
And yeah, right. Slut. Either one works.
No, that's not true. I know because I've seen this happen with everybody you go to. They want you to play their guitars. You dig it, and you go, well, I'll tell you what, man. If you could do this and this and this, I'd be really interested because no one's done that for me before. Like that is a Telecaster bridge setup. It's P90s on a Jazzmaster bobbin with you know, the Jazzmaster body.
And strings to the body. I mean, that was it. You know, my good friend Andy Elliott.
Gave you bigger headstock for more resonance, you know, like the whole bit.
Got it, the whole bit. That was exactly sort of the idea in mind. And Andy Elliott builds on the Fender sort of, you know, foundation. And so he offered to build something for me, and I said, well, that'd be a lot of fun because his guitars are amazing. He's pretty much as top notch a luthier as you can get.
And that guitar's shot with hot rod paint.
Yes.
It's not regular paint like guitar builders use. Right. He's got a friend who paints Harley, custom Harleys.
Beautiful.
And he painted that
for him. He paints these. And so, I was like, well, let's do something different. Let's do something. I've always liked the Jazzmaster body. I mean, I got to say, the Jazzmaster body is one of the most ergonomically perfect design electric guitars. It sits perfect, sits at a perfect angle. The knob's right there, and not as much in the way as like on a Strat.
It's really comfy,
it's an amazing guitar, and so just thought, man, wouldn't it? And obviously, Jazzmaster pickups sort of look like P90s, so I thought that would be fun to do something like that. But they literally, he and Lindy Fralin worked on it together, and they had to totally retool. They had to invest actually to build the bobbin. The bobbin's entirely different because it's a P90 style bobbin, but with the Jazzmaster width and frame. So it's its own thing entirely. And so, and as Dan was saying, I wanted the barrel type, bridge saddles, telly style, strings through the body, and the larger headstock really was more about the look, but then, you know, Andy brought it to my attention. He said, well, you know, that'll definitely help with tone too. And it was something I had never really thought about. And I now prefer even my Strats. I like the late 60s
that's why
Strats with the larger headstock.
That 65 Strat that you had is a really thick headstock.
Yeah.
And that thing rings differently, you know, because of it. It sounds good. That's the one Peter left me in his will, by the way. I bugged him for that guitar so much.
Which I could go on about guitars too. I got to tell you, everybody go check out Fender's American Vintage new line that they have.
Are they good?
They're stupid.
Really?
Yeah.
But they're not custom shop? They're just production models?
They're on the main floor. And they have come out with a whole line to where they've very faithfully replicated not only vintage but various periods. Like they have a 56 Strat and a 59 Strat.
Wow.
And a 58 Telly, and the next, I mean, literally, Matt Ferguson brought two of the Strats by rehearsal to Richie, and I didn't even know he was coming. It was a complete surprise. Really? And so he said, check this one out. And first one he handed me, I said, 59. And he goes, yep, that's it. That's our 59. Then he says, all right, check this one out. And he handed it to me, and I'm like, 56. And he said, yeah.
Wow.
And that's what it was. I mean, it's dead on the money.
Well, I've been out there, you know, Chris, I'm blanking on his last name now, I'm sorry, Chris. Master Builder Chris, my friend Chris, who makes... He's the master. He's the one the master builders all report to out at Fender, which maybe we should go out there while you're here.
Well, Chris at Fender.
Fender Chris.
The master
God,
builder,
I can't believe that. Sorry, Chris. And Chris is a good friend of mine, too. Darn it.
That's what we call a brain fart.
Oh, yes. Someone has a case of the Mondays. It's my senior moment. I hate that shit so much. Anyway, I saw how they replicate necks out there.
Yeah.
And they can get it down to the micrometer. They got a machine, like a CNC guided thing. And if you have a neck, they can duplicate it flawlessly.
And they're doing the finishes, their nitro finishes. They appear to be, at least. It felt like a new sticky one, sort of like this was brand new out of the bag.
Yeah.
And so over time, of course, the nitro settles in and it just gets beautiful feeling.
Yeah.
And then it has the pickups. They said every aspect they tailored based on the year, and they even have like 64 tellies, the whole bit.
Wow.
So, I mean, hats off to those guys to really trying to offer something that's not a custom shop where, you know, you have to wait for 3 years now. And
well, plus, if you've ever been to the custom shop, don't get me wrong, the guitars from the custom shop are fantastic.
Yeah.
But when, you know, like I was out there, Chris Fleming, last time I was out there with Fleming, he goes, "Hey man, you like the Strat? You know that John and George had the '64 or whatever it was Strat that John and George played, that Sonic Blue?" And I went, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, come here." And I go around the corner and there's 160 of them. And I kind of went, "Oh, so it's just not so special now." You know? I mean, it's really, I just picked one up after another, and they were all great. Every one of them was like exactly the same. And so, you know, it's their custom shop is 10 times the production of most guitar companies. Yeah. You know, their custom shop makes more guitars than Paul Reed Smith does. Or,
so this thing, man, back to it as far as just, you know, when Andy brought the first one over, it was like a happy accident.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can't in any way discredit him, or discount, not discount.
Or diminish.
Discount him for his ability, because he matches the woods, he cuts them entirely from scratch.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing kit about these guitars whatsoever. Even down to the pick guards, he has to hand cut.
He cuts them nuts from a raw point this big.
And so, yeah, this thing is solid. The neck doesn't move. One time, what was it? I dropped my guitar, literally dropped it. Oh, it was during a show, and when we were doing First Cut is the Deepest.
Right.
It was a very nice, glorifying moment on stage in front of 15,000 people.
Your guitar did a dive.
Yeah, because I had two guitars on First Cut open up playing the mandolin, and I had this guitar. Well, this thing, the strap peg, it didn't have the strap lock; it had come off. So it went clunk,
gone,
bang, boing, 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 right on the stage. Picked it up, bang,
perfectly in tune.
It wasn't even out of tune.
That's fun.
Yeah, so that tells you something about.
How did Cheryl handle that?
His build. She laughed.
Good.
Thought it was a complete hoot, you know. And yeah, this thing. I mean, it's got this thing where it's cleaner. Like, go ahead and put a little more gain on it. You know, but it's a perfect guitar for rolling the volume on.
Yeah, P90.
Real singer. Yeah. So
let's check it out. That one's got a really big neck on it too. I like it.
And funny enough that you mentioned that, like on your telly, he styled the necks, which he is perfected now.
Yeah.
After the 65 Strat, my 65.
Oh, really?
Strat. That was the model. He took all the measurements and he's done it over multiple visits to where now, like that telly and.
So I bugged Peter so much about selling me that guitar for 20 years that he called me one day and goes, "Okay, man, I put it in my will, so at least you know I'm not going to sell it to anyone else." And I thought, well, that's not cool because if something happens to you, they're going to blame me.
That's right.
He killed Peter for the guitar. My guitar was made the week that I was born. And for some reason, I pick it up and just play over my head. I don't know why. Just to adjust.
It's a big neck.
Yeah, that's a big one. That was one of the larger neck guys. He'll make them however you want. But now they're coming out pretty much with a smaller neck. It's based on 65.
And you have the Jazzmaster electronics on there too if you flip that switch up, right?
Yeah, yes.
You got that real simple tone
stack. It does
stack.
Have which that thing's
a
surprisingly useful circuit. You can tell they were totally trying to mimic that old big body jazz guitar.
Yeah, right.
Cleans up real good.
But it's one of those guitars, man, when I've taken it into sessions, and I always end up going, come back to that.
It's got such a pronounced mid-range thing. It's so pleasant. It's like good. He picked the right notch.
Yeah.
On those pickups.
hit Lars with it too.
Yeah, for a day. plus a plane ticket.
This is awesome. This is really good.
Yeah. Didn't you play some? You weren't here for NAMM this year, were you?
No, that was good.
Andy put 4 or 5 guitars in our booth, and they were all great. He made me that telly. I sat on the phone with him and said, my dream telly would have this and have that and have that and that. He went, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And made it, and it's great. And those are his pickups now.
Yeah,
it's like the
he's winding
second
his own
version of those
pickups now.
pickups. They sound great.
Yeah, he's embraced that wholeheartedly, and his pickups are sounding great.
You want some cleaner sound, Lars?
And our pal Drew Sherrill.
Yes.
With Switchfoot, that's what he's using pretty much the majority of the time.
Oh, really? That's a perfect guitar for Drew. Yeah.
Who else? It's just been great. Elliot Easton.
Oh, nice. He made him a lefty then.
He's got the first lefty he ever built.
Cool.
For Elliot Easton.
That's fun.
And that was a good one.
Yeah, it was right here in the valley.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah. When I was jamming with Zach and those guys, and Zach and Elliot are really good buddies, and he kept threatening to bring Elliot over, and he never did. But it was always the whole thing like, yeah, I'll bring him over, but no Cars songs.
And you know who just ordered one is Grant Mickelson, who plays with Taylor Swift.
Oh, okay. Very cool. So we got some questions here. Earlier, Lars, someone was asking which amps you have out on tour now. Is it Tupelo and Empire?
No. This summer I've been using a Tupelo and what's it called?
Royal Albert?
It's called a...
You own every amp we make.
That's right.
The Royal Albert?
Yeah.
Tupelo and the Albert? That's a nice combination.
Yeah. No. Not the Albert. It's not the Marquis, not the Albert, but
the high-powered Soho?
No.
Monterey?
Monterey, low-powered Monterey.
Low-powered Monterey.
Yeah,
I think you have like 8 of our amps.
I know.
Yeah.
I think we put out a few models over there.
Yeah, we just did the roll call there, didn't we?
That's a good combo.
Yeah, you got 2 completely different takes on 66s there. So
yeah,
that works well. And then someone says, Peter, did you work directly with Lindy? He is a very humble guy.
Yes, I did.
I just walked into a shop one day and he gave me the grand tour. Great Southern hospitality. Lindy's in Virginia, right?
Yes, he's in Richmond, Virginia, and I have yet to meet him personally, but we talked on the phone for a long time.
Yeah.
About P90s, and he is the P90 guru.
Really?
He loves P90s. That's
cool.
His favorite pickup, and and no 2 P90s are ever alike.
Right.
And he'll be the first to tell you that and understands it totally. So we went through my entire collection of guitars with P90s, and talked about each one. I gave him the resistance measurements, which only say one part of the story.
It's only a quarter.
But it's almost like more about the period, what year they are, what the measurements are.
Does it have enamel coated
wire? Because
the
years meant the wire, exactly. Then what type of enamel coated wire, what type of magnets were used, all these various aspects about the wind. Who knows what else? Maybe even who was winding them at the time.
Well, there's tension too on the wire, like the ones, the original hand wound machines, because Seymour was giving me this lecture when I was up at his shop, because he has like the original machine they wound PAFs on, and he said it's really good, but it's really low tension.
Yeah.
So it kind of scatter winds automatically because the tension's really low on the wire. So modern machines would wind it with a lot more tension on.
Yeah.
That way you can get more wire on the bobbin. It goes down tighter.
Yeah, there's so much. So
all those different variables.
I worked with the Lindy quite a bit, and but I tell you, he hit out of the park right off the bat.
Yeah.
And then after that, obviously, he worked with Andy beyond that because it was their project.
Yeah. Very fun. Well, it's already 10 after 1. Big hat news? Any big hat news?
Finally, it's a patience game for me, but we have the artwork done for our EP. We will put out the 4 songs we've recorded thus far.
Yes.
As an EP.
Nice.
And it's going to be great. The artwork was done by this guy, Keith Brogdon, in Nashville, who's also a stellar drummer. He's an amazing artist.
Yeah?
So
That's
couldn't be
cool.
happier with that. And so.
But your recording plans kind of got delayed because Cheryl hired your band.
Oh, well, there was so many things. I'm the culprit. Well, I offered the band, with a little ulterior motive, because, all these guys were like, they're great guys, and everybody has them playing in every different direction. And I said, well,
yeah. I have an idea.
If I got us all in the same other band,
that's right,
then we might afford us a little more time. And
you can rehearse your own stuff out on the road.
With that, but obviously at the same time, I mean, it has just turned into this colossal band playing with Cheryl. It's just...
It is. If you guys get a chance to see this band...
And playing with Audley Freed and Robert Kearns, Fred Eltringham is the drummer, Robert's the bass player. We've had, over the summer, it's either been keyboardist Glenn Potscha from Brooklyn, who's an amazing keyboardist.
That's the guy I met a few weeks ago, right?
And then Josh Grange, who plays pedal steel. He'll be in on the band for the new effort that Cheryl is doing. And it's great. So I'm really excited about it. But, like I say, playing with Audley, who's just...
Well, you and Audley together are just...
Yeah.
You guys seem to inspire each other.
So I have the best of both worlds right now. Playing with Cheryl and with these guys is amazing. And then once we get Big Hat, to where we have a little more going on.
And Big Hat can warm up for Cheryl.
And Keith Gaddis, who's our singer with Big Hat, is amazing. And he's had a real... Hats off to Keith. He's had a real run of success lately and good fortune with his songwriting. He wrote 2 songs that are on Kenny Chesney's new record.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Including the new single.
Which
is El Cerrito.
The You and Tequila thing? The Kenny Chesney's hit, You and Tequila. Our friend Dina Carter wrote that song.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and so...
yeah, man. So,
we're all getting
it's a good time.
Kenny.
I think Big Hat, as far as when we'll actually play out, it'll come at some point, but... we're getting closer.
Well, there's
get
people...
everybody on the same program.
Scott...
Keith.
Yeah, Gaddis. Scott up at Gear Music in Toronto is on here.
Oh, cool. Hey, Scott. What's up, man?
He says, Big Hat to Canada, please.
Hell yeah. I'll be there. In fact, I'll be seeing Scott in November 2nd. I'm coming in, I'm playing, I believe it's on the 2nd or 3rd. I think on the 3rd I'm playing with Sarah McLaughlin up in Toronto.
Oh, nice.
And
he asked if you would bring that Duesenberg guitar up and come by the shop.
Yes, I'll do it. And so what I'm doing, we're already planning that we're going to do a 65 evening.
Oh, you are? Oh, excellent.
The night before on November 2nd somewhere.
I like that.
Anybody in the area, come on with Gear Music. And
I like that.
You'll stay tuned, put it that way.
Yeah, do we have a lot of Canuck here on the show? Scott, you're the only Canadian on here that I recognize. Might be more.
Who else? Anybody else?
No. And the gold top, he says. Oops, I just messed up the chat.
Gold top.
There we go.
You mean this gold top or my other gold top?
I don't know.
You know that Gibson gold top I have?
Yeah, I know. With a wraparound on it?
Yeah.
I love that guitar. Is that the deluxe?
No, it's the standard 2 humbuckers, but just with a wraparound.
Oh yeah. Do you still have that deluxe?
Weighs like 2 pounds.
Yeah. Right. HMS Hood finally. I don't know what that means. Oh, let's see. This chat keeps going back up. God darn it. Look at this. I can't get the chat window to stay down. There we go. Hey, Lukewarm58's in Toronto also. So, yeah, Luke, have you been over to Gear Music in, was it Oakville? Is that where they are? Oakville?
Oakville, yeah. Who's that? Luke? What were you saying?
Lukewarm58. Another Torontonian here.
Yeah.
Is it Torontonian or is it Toronton? Toronton sounds like a pill you would take for nerve damage or something. Maybe Torontonian, yeah.
So what, was he referring to my guitar? What is that? Lukewarm 58?
Oh, he was just chiming in as another Canadian. Hey, it's Eric Yar. Hey, Eric, how are you? So Eric Yar was the one, I always go on the show, and the guys want to always keep going, and I'm like, why don't somebody order a pizza and have it delivered here, and we'll just keep going all afternoon.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks ago, Eric just walks in with he lives in Sherman Oaks. He just walks in with his large pizza and sits down and goes, all right, here you go, keep going. So I'm sitting here eating pizza. Hey, what's up?
Yeah, I see somebody wrote, is Peter doing the German shows with Richie?
Yeah.
No.
You're not? Oh, that's David.
David,
right.
yeah.
David
no,
Ryan
I'm just
Harris.
doing these next 2 weeks of TV and radio here in the U.S. And then
That's right.
Then David Ryan Harris jumps on, and then they go over to Europe immediately. I think they're going over to Europe in the beginning of October.
Have you seen the new John Mayer video?
No.
So, David bought a producer and a Ventura from us and a 212 cabinet, and they went to shoot this video. Goofy65 got censored. He must be cussing. Ustream won't let you cuss on here.
Oh.
So they went to shoot the video, and at the last minute, the director goes, I think it would look better, David, if you're playing acoustic. And David made a scene about leaving the Ventura in the video. So Mayer's playing a Telly in the video, and it looks like he's playing a Ventura the whole time. So I gotta say, it's not John's amp.
Thanks, John.
But I started getting all these notes
Dave.
yeah, David's great. Well, David's an Atlanta guy, he's a homie, so.
Yeah, he's a long-time buddy.
And so I get all these notes about, John Mayer's playing 65, and I called up David, and I'm like, hey, what happened there? He goes, I just told him no, the amp's staying here. And he went, okay. So it's all over the video.
Well, man, it's been a lot of fun.
Absolutely. We need to think about some food, and you're probably running out of time, right?
Yeah. And then, so food.
What time do you
beautiful
need to get over to Mates?
Well, let's, no, I have some other stuff. I'm heading over the hill.
Oh.
So let's just grab something to eat. Let's
Okay,
go.
You got time to
in
eat?
fact, Vince, and I wonder if Vince is here just hiding out.
Oh, yeah, Vince Jones from Sarah McLachlan's band's here, too. Is Vince out there?
Right. Yeah, he's out here.
Hey, Vince. Come on in. Say hi. We're doing our little
I hope
web
you haven't
show.
been sitting out there too long.
No.
Speaking of Canadians, here we go. Vince, this is Lars Haugen.
Hello. Hi.
Vince from
Lars
Norway.
Haugen, this is Vincent Jones, everybody.
Good to see you, Vince. How are you,
Vincent
man?
Jones here.
We're
My
on.
good
We're
friend.
on. We've got our little web show going
Oh, okay.
on.
Cool.
Vincent, you live here now in LA, don't you?
Yeah.
But we were just trying to rouse up all the Canuck that are on the show here.
All right. Okay.
And we got two
Isn't that nice?
Torontonians here.
Oh, looking nice.
Are you guys offended when we say Canuck?
No, at all.
That's what I didn't think so. I didn't
Because
think
they're so mellow. They're so chill.
But see, here's the problem.
call
Though,
way worse.
Since he's Canadian, if he were offended, he wouldn't tell me.
Yeah.
Well, and Vince and I have played together over the years with Sarah McLachlan. He's
That's right.
Sarah's music director.
Right.
The big thing too, Vince is doing is he's writing for what television?
It's for a show called Up All Night.
Oh, nice.
He writes the music.
Yeah.
He and Martine Lenoble.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Congratulations.
we've been using one of your amps for all of our.
Very nice. Well, let me know if you need
Awesome.
more.
Yeah.
You can always borrow whatever you want.
Well, he came to hear the Ventura.
Yeah. I want to.
Oh, cool. Did you
Is
bring?
this it? This is new.
No, this is a prototype.
All right. But
Did you bring your checkbook?
yeah, exactly. I should have because I'm going to see a chiropractor.
Oh, yeah, we already did. So you don't have any money left. Do you?
Very nice. Well, it's nice to see you, man.
Yeah,
I'm
good to
glad
see you
you're
too.
here. Now you're not from Toronto, though, are you?
No, I'm from Vancouver.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
You're a West Coast guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got the different accent.
Yeah.
It's very
I
nice.
still say bean.
Bean.
Apparently. Bean.
Yeah. Do you?
Like
Do you
Got bean there.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, a little more English.
Yeah.
Do you live in a house?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Dan's out to win friends. You know,
Is-
if you read that book.
I only kid people I like. Yeah, and next year, there's a boat.
A what?
A boat? A
yeah,
boat?
Yeah. Well, that's really East Coast. That's more kind of Sarah's vibe.
Yeah, that's
Sort
more
of
the,
Right, that's true.
It's
Halifax.
like, yeah,
Okay,
exactly,
so
like a Haligonian.
I'm going to let
thing.
myself off the hook. My dad married a lady from Quebec.
Oh, he did?
An English lady from
Oh,
Quebec.
okay.
And they're just completely like, everything. They live in a house. They go out on the boat, and they do all this stuff.
That's
and
why he's got it down.
I give them endless grief
Yeah, that's
about it.
amazing.
And I'm like, you go out on the lake with your boots on? No, in a boat. And, your boat. Yeah, okay. But to a Norwegian, you might not get the subtlety. Yeah. But no, we love Canadians and they don't like us. So we're trying to work on that.
Because we're arrogant bastards.
Well, we're all crazy rednecks with shotguns going,
Yeah!
But, and just so, like, for you, this dynamic's probably, maybe you have the same dynamic with Sweden or something, but,
exactly the same.
Like, every Canadian I know, in the back of their mind, they're kind of worried about us. Like, we're sort of the crazy neighbors to the south that, we do kind of unbelievably stupid stuff here sometimes, and they just kind of go, oh, gosh. But they're all really, really nice, and they're all really sweet. And then we all just adore Canada and adore Canadians when we go there, and then some Canadian, doesn't understand us. We're like, what? What do we do? We don't know. We just want to get along. It's, why do you hate us? And, where's Burger King? That's very good. Well, foot out of mouth yet. Come on. No, I can say these things because I'm now related to Canadians.
This is live, is it?
We're live. We're chatting here.
Oh, okay.
But
thank you, Stratocaster Mojo.
What did he say?
He just said
thanks, Peter and Lars. Yeah. Very nice. Best broadcast ever. Thanks. Nice show. Thank
Somebody
you.
said strippers and Chinese food. Who is that? Who's that guy?
Where was that?
I don't know, man. I've always had a thing about, strippers and food to me don't mix.
No.
Like when you say that they offer steak, they go, no.
It's just not right.
There's so many bad jokes there. I don't know where to start. There's a strip club around the corner. We've never been to it. And one day, years ago, we were like, I'm really hungry. Let's see if the strip club has a lunch buffet. And we called over there and like, do you guys serve lunch? And they're like, no, it's a strip club. We went, oh, okay. Well, if you serve lunch, your place would be packed every day.
Yeah, right.
Who is that? Who is XL72?
Canada is no, that's not nice. We're not going to say
I
that.
see you soon. We'll be pushing it. Who's XL? Is that our?
So I'm an honorary Canadian, so I have to. I've been anointed by my new stepbrothers and stepmother, so I have to be nice. Will the new amp come in a combo form? Not right now. It's a lot of amp to squeeze into a combo. The transformers on this are really big. If I were to make a combo, it would weigh probably 90 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like an old twin kind of weight.
Let's see how much this thing weighs, because it does have a big transformer in it.
Both, even the output.
Yeah, it's a little weighty, but
If you put that into a combo,
as long as you work out.
because I think the head's close to 50 pounds. It's a big one. Yeah.
What's it called?
We don't know yet. I'm up for El
Yeah,
Pompadouro
you have a name
as its
idea?
nickname.
Pompadouro. I like that.
But if you have any suggestions, I'm wide open.
Yeah,
These
we're
things-
taking names,
Oh, okay.
ideas.
All
All right, let's go eat.
let's do it. All right, fellas. Thank you again, Lars. Such a pleasure to have you here. Vince, thanks for showing
Yeah,
up.
nice to see you.
Come back and do the show, Peter. Always a pleasure.
Hey, man.
It's so nice.
That worked
And
out
so
for
you can get a hold of all of us, just, on Facebook.
Thanks,
Do all that.
everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
And we'll see you next week with probably a different amp, because I think David Ryan Harris is going to take this out and beat it up for a minute.
Oh, cool. Give it a test run.
And if you're still welcome to if you want to. All right.
Excellent.
Okay.
It's September 12th. We'll see you next week. Have a fun weekend.